real Christianity talking. So we are dealing with the origin of Christianity here. You know, Christianity originated in the Bible, and it was all centered around Jesus and his teaching. That is where real Christianity originated at. Let's start reading here now in Matthew chapter 12, and we'll begin reading at verse 38. Matthew 12, we'll pick it up at verse 38. 12 and 38. Okay, go ahead and read.
Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master,
go ahead.
We will see a sign from thee.
But
he answered and said unto them,
go ahead.
An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah.
Go ahead.
For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
So now what else do we have? I'll let you know. Now this is what Jesus is saying. Now he is the author of Christianity. So don't bring me nothing nobody else is saying about Christianity. Because he is the author of Christianity, and he said that he was going to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. Go ahead and read. What verse are we? Keep reading.
Verse 41.
Go ahead.
The men of Nineveh.
No, that is good. So now Jesus himself said that he would be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, right? And the angel told Daniel that the Messiah would be cut off in the middle. That's what God sent the angel to tell Daniel. So that Daniel didn't say that. God said it. He told the angel to tell Daniel that. Just so we'll be clear where all the information came from. You know, so you don't go out there and say, well, you know, Daniel said. Daniel ain't said nothing. Daniel just wrote down what God told the angel to tell him. That's what Daniel did. So now you got God said that the Messiah would be cut off in the middle of the week. We know that is Wednesday. And Jesus said that he was going to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, right? Let's go now to Matthew chapter 28. And we'll begin reading at verse 1. Matthew 28, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. 28 and 1. 28 and 1. Okay. Go ahead and read.
In the end of the Sabbath.
Now he said at the end. What day is the Sabbath? Everybody know what day the Sabbath day is. Don't let nobody tell you they don't know. Yes, you do. You know that the Sabbath day is on a Saturday. And the reason I know you know is because you got Good Friday. You read in John where the book says Jesus died the day before the Sabbath day. You read that. You know that he died the day before the Sabbath day. So then you say, well, now the Sabbath day is on a Saturday, so that must mean that he died on a Friday, so we going to do Good Friday. And to commemorate his death. So that's how I know you know. You know, because once you corner them, then they say, well, we don't know what day the seventh day is. Yes, you do. We don't know what day. Yeah, you do. You know what day it is. That's how you came up with Good Friday. Because you knew exactly what day the Sabbath day is. You knew that it was the day after Friday. And everybody knows that is Saturday. So now, it said now, at the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. And what does this tell you? Even when they got over in Jesus' time, the Sabbath was still the seventh day. It is the day before the first day of the week. Not the first day of the week, the day before the first day of the week. And what day is the day before the first day of the week? It is Sabbath. It sits right in between the sixth day and the seventh day. Let's start reading now. Go ahead. I'm going to show you what happened on that day. Go ahead and read. Now, they're going to show up looking for him. This is after his crucifixion and his resurrection, and they're going to show up looking for him. Go ahead and read on.
It said, in the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week,
go ahead,
came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
Go ahead.
And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified.
Go ahead.
He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay.
So now, when was this? This was near the end of the Sabbath as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. Now, Jesus said 3 days and 3 nights, didn't it? Now, even if you don't believe in the 9th chapter of Daniel, you know that Jesus said, since you don't believe nothing unless you find it written in the New Testament. That's what you've been told. Don't believe it if it's not written in the New. That's what you've been told. That's what they tell you. So, Old Testament has been fulfilled already, and you ain't supposed to go by nothing but the New Testament. That's what they tell you. So, well, let's do it this way then. Let's count back. So now, when they got there near the end of the Sabbath, which is on a Saturday, near the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, right? So now they showed up. And Jesus said, I got to be in there 3 days and 3 nights, right? Well, what we're going to do is count backwards. From Saturday near sundown to Friday near sundown is 1 day and 1 night, right? And from Friday near sundown to Thursday near sundown is 2 days and 2 nights, right? And from Thursday near sundown to Wednesday near sundown is 3 days and 3 nights. There you have it. You understand? So what God sent the angel to tell Daniel is right on time, and he was cut off in the middle of the week. So now that kills that Good Friday and Easter thing. That just shoots that right in the head, don't it? Don't worry, we're gonna get to it. Let's go now to Luke chapter 24. And we'll begin reading at verse 25. Luke 24, and we will pick it up at verse 25. Luke 24 and verse 25. This is after Jesus had risen from the dead, and they was and 2 of his disciples, they was walking along, and they was feeling bad because Jesus had died, and they thought that was the end of it, even though he told them that the Son of Man is going to be crucified and he's going to rise again on the 3rd day. All that just went right over their head. Now, while they walking along talking, he walked up on them and asked, why are you so sad? Then they started to tell him. Didn't realize they were talking to him. Well, this Jesus, we thought he was the one, and he came and he did all these great things, but they killed him about 3 days ago. Y'all hadn't heard nothing about it. You must be strangers around him because it's been the talk of the town. But now he finally, after he listened to that for a while, look at what he told him. Start reading at verse 25. Luke 24, and pick it up at verse 25. Okay, go ahead and read.
Then he said unto them,
Go ahead.
O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken.
Now he said, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. We don't have time to read all that the prophets spoke, because the prophets started speaking with Moses, and they spoke all the way to Malachi. So we ain't got time to read all that stuff. But now he telling them, O fools, slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Go ahead and read on.
Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory?
And he said, didn't you know the Messiah had to suffer these things in order to enter into his glory? And he had to suffer all of these things. In fact, we read a little bit of it, didn't it? Because Isaiah talked about it, 3rd chapter of Isaiah. And we read just a little bit of that. But then you go into Psalms, and it's just full of how he suffered. You go to 22nd chapter of Psalms, and it'll tell you about all that stuff that they did until how they spit on him and beat him and all of that stuff. That was the stuff that he was telling them about. And he took them through every bit of it, too. We ain't got time today to take you through all of it. Go ahead and read on.
And beginning at Moses.
See where he started at? He started at Moses. You understand? You know where Moses started at? Genesis 1 and 1. That's where Moses started. So now he took them all the way back to Moses and brought them all the way down. Go ahead and read on.
And all the prophets.
And not just Moses, but Moses and all. You know when the last one in the Old Testament is? That is Malachi. Malachi spoke up, Moses spoke up, and all the prophets in between. Go ahead and read on.
He expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself.
See what he did? He expounded unto them in all of the scripture the things concerning himself. Skip down to verse 44. Go ahead and read.
And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you
Go ahead.
while I was yet with you,